facing just quality competition day in, day out. You're using a wood bat, obviously, and it's probably closer to what professional baseball was going to kind of be like.
He's out!
Oh, that's a
No, I got him on. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. He got him on the hand. He didn't get back to the bag yet.
His hand was in there at the same time.
He didn't get back to the bag yet.
He
didn't get back to the bag yet. He did not. He did not. He did not.
One of the best summers of my life, just being in Cape, and I didn't realize how beautiful it was. And I just had a great time. My host family had a horse. I used to ride the horse.
That was great. That was great.
Oh!
There you go!
Where me?
The wonderful thing about it is you get to go to this special place where, you know, up on the Cape, where it's beautiful. You get to go to the beach. It's just an all-around great league.
Oh, look at this.
It's incredibly difficult to hit in this league. I mean, it's not the bats, it's just the pitching.
Everything's the same for us as far as, you know, you're throwing the same ball, same distances, same mound, same everything. And then for the hitter, you know, it's like you're giving him a different weapon to work with. And you can throw inside, you know, and the bat's a little bit, you know, they're weighted a little bit different. They feel a little bit different. And most of the hitters have never seen you before.
Here's the 1-2 pitch.
And you know you can go right at these guys, and if you make your pitch that you're trying to throw, and it's the right pitch to throw, pretty much, I mean, you're gonna be successful.
College is not the real game, so it's kind of nice to actually come down here and be able to make good pitches and get outs.
Guys aren't used to seeing number one pitcher night in, night out, and then with the wood bats, it's a little less forgiving. You get a sweet spot that's about this big, so you do have to be a better hitter consistently with the wood night in, night out.
I tell the players when they first come in, knock 150 points or more off your average at college. That's where you're going to start, and you may end that way. And I don't think I've ever been told it wasn't the case.
Usually what I try to do, the first 10 to 14 days, I let the guys fail.
Yeah.
Because if you're an all-star and you're hitting 380, and I come in and I'm telling you you're swinging incorrectly, you're going to think I'm crazy. But now when you're hitting 120, you'll listen, because you don't want to fail.
It is a game of failure, and it's really good because most of these guys are stars on every level. So it was really good for Pat Burrell, who's the National High School Player of the Year, the National Freshman of the Year, the MVP in the College World Series, to go to the Cape and hit 170 or 175, whatever he hit.
It took me a long time. I think it took me the whole season that I came up, you know, in the middle season in '87, and all the way down to the playoffs in '88. And then in the playoffs, I had a great playoff. But before that, I think I was breaking bats left and right.
I remember at the All-Star game 2 years ago, I was talking to Lance Berkman and Todd Helton. They were first and third in the major leagues in home runs at the time. They played 3 seasons between them on the Cape and hit 1 home run. Berkman hit an opposite field homer off the Yarmouth-Dennis foul pole.
As a first baseman, corner outfielder type, they were looking for the power numbers really, I guess, more than the average. So the fact that I only hit 1 home run may have hurt me a little bit.
It's a good pitchers league, and brings a lot of young hitters back down to the real world.
A guy like Khalil Green, even though he didn't hit for much of an average on the Cape, he improved so much.
Yeah, I was brutal both years, I think. 215 or so, and then 220 maybe.
I was terrible. So I got out there and, you know, I was a man. I thought I was a man. I think I was a freshman All-American, and you know how it goes. I mean, everyone's an All-American in high school. So went out there and I just got it handed to me. It was bad.
By the halfway point of the season, 9 out of the 10 teams are hovering around the 200 mark in team batting, the exception being Yarmouth-Dennis, which is leading the East Division.
And look at the scores, maybe the first 12, 13, 14 games of the season. A lot of 2-1, 1-0 games. And they're just not used to doing it. I mean, the physical factor is that wood is more difficult to swing. It's heavier, it's particularly top heavier. And it's just a different thing.
Hands out. Don't drop the head below your hand.
2-2.
Actually, I like the way they feel a lot better. I like the way they feel. So, I don't know. I mean, aluminum, it's easier to get around, but I like when you hit the ball solid off of wood. And I like the feeling.
I think guys that are a little bit stronger have a little more an advantage than the other guys would, because you got to be a big, strong guy to swing that bat and have great eye-hand coordination.
Once you hit them both on the sweet spot, I guess it's pretty much the same almost, but I'd say you don't get those cheap hits like you do in college with the aluminum bats. You get jammed here, you're breaking a bat.
It takes a while to get used to, but I actually like them better than aluminum sometimes, because you really got to hit it on the right part of the bat to get a hit. Teaches you how to hit.
No, I used wood bats through high school and like spring leagues and stuff like that. So I actually like wood bats better.
There's an obvious adjustment that needs to be made in your approach, but I think the biggest adjustment is mentally. I think if you come in with a different approach and you come in kind of tentative and passive with your at-bats just because there's a wood bat in your hand, and I think you're going to get beat.
Now you can own Touching the Game, the story of the Cape Cod Baseball League. To order yours, go to touchingthegame.com. A portion of the proceeds will go directly to the Cape League. Order yours today.